Black and white. I always call a spade a spade. I do not believe in the principle of praising everything without any logic or reason. Although I am fully aware of the facts that black and white, good and bad, light and darkness, day and night are all relative concepts. Even life and death are relative. Death comes at the end of life. Again, new life appears after death. Daylight is followed by the night. Again, the dawn of a new day appears at the end of the night. Purusha, or consciousness, and Prakriti, or nature, men and women, Brahma, or the divine soul, and Adi Shakti, or supreme power, matter and energy, time and multidimensional space. All these concepts may seem to be separate, but actually they are identical and inseparable. They complete each other. Positive and negative, matter, antimatter, and dark matter, energy, dark energy, all these concepts are complementary to each other. None of us is self-sufficient. We all are dependent on each other. There are constant exchanges of things, ideas, and many other concepts between all of us. And this is how we exist, by depending upon each other. Whatever we can feel or perceive, we consider that true. However, there is a vast world beyond the periphery of our comprehension. Our feelings are relative. Our concepts of beauty, love, and pleasure are all relative. It changes with time, place, and persons concerned. God is the ultimate truth, and this world is an illusion. However, there is no difference between the invisible God and the visible nature. According to my perception, I have discovered the existence of nature within the Almighty and the presence of the Almighty amidst nature. I always call a spade a spade. I do not believe in the principle of praising everything without any logic or reason. I have no intentions to see the world around me through a rose-colored glass. The beauty of women. Who is more beautiful among the peacock or peahen? It is the peacock. If we compare the looks of the tiger and the tigress, we will find the tiger more beautiful. Among the lion and the lioness, it is unquestionably the lion, with its gracious mane, which looks much pretty. But why this rule is not applicable in the case of human beings? There is no doubt about the fact that women look much beautiful than men. Women and beauty are now synonymous. Women have been showered with praises for her beauty from time immemorial. They have mesmerized millions of men by their beauty and elegance. Through the ages, numerous poets have written poems describing women's beauty. Countless artists have drawn pictures, and so many singers have sung songs praising the women's great looks. In Hinduism, women have been worshipped in different forms. Sometimes she is worshipped as nature or Prakriti, sometimes as the apex power or Adi Shakti. She is regarded as the source of all the creations in this world. Different types of women have been described. Examples are Padmini, Shankini, Rukmini, Hastini, and so on. There are many arguments on the mysteries of the women's mind. Women have been mysterious by nature. Sometimes she is caring, while sometimes deceiving. Sometimes she is generous, sometimes cruel. However, if we only focus our discussion on the beauty of women, we will belittle her contribution to the greater world. None can deny the great contribution of women in the constructive work of the society. The men have been able to focus on their work outside only because of the women managing the entire household. Sometimes they have also joined the men in the outdoor works and worked with equal vigor and vitality. Therefore, women cannot be regarded as only beauty icons. Any good or beneficial deed of this world has been done equally by both men and women. However, women have never got the due appreciation and acknowledgement for her contributions. They have been demeaned in comparison to the men. They have been exploited through the ages. The women have given so much to the men. Now the question arises that what do the women want in return? Is it only love? It may not be so. Women want their due respect from men. Man has to understand that the real beauty of a woman is not limited to her looks. It lies in her qualities, behavior, and sacrifices made by her.
The Tale of a King and His Queens. Once there was a king who had 4 queens. All the queens were exquisitely beautiful, and the king was very proud of his beautiful wives. The eldest queen was named Shankini. The next queen in order of age was called Hastini. The third queen's name was Rukmini, and Padmini was the name of the youngest queen. One day, the king announced that he would donate all his properties and precious belongings to one of his 4 queens. For that, he invited all his queens at the royal court the next day. The next morning, all the queens were decked up beautifully with appropriate makeup, ornaments, and accessories. They were looking so gorgeous that their beauty even outshined the heavenly angels. It was a winter morning. A small puppy was shivering in cold on the way to the royal palace. The eldest queen saw the puppy. She had had an argument with the second queen that morning and was agitated. All her anger and irritation found expression in her cruelty towards the helpless puppy. She ruthlessly kicked the puppy into the drain. After some time, the second queen passed the path. Despite seeing the puppy, she pretended as if she did not see him. A little later, the third queen arrived at the spot. She saw the puppy in the drain, restless with pain. She stood there for quite some time, showing her sympathies for the suffering puppy, but took no initiative to rescue the poor animal. Instead, she went away to the palace. At last, the youngest queen, while passing by the way, found the puppy. She rescued him, and instead of going to the palace, she took the puppy to the doctor and could finally cure him. The king got to know the entire event from his spy. Instead of going to the court, he rushed to the youngest queen. He donated all his properties to the youngest queen. Moral of the story: those who truly love living beings are the best human beings. Female feticide. Even in the 21st century, men and women do not enjoy equal status. A glaring example of this is the rising number of female feticide cases. Not just in India, but also in many other parts of the world, female children are killed even before their birth. We worship women sometimes in the form of nature and sometimes in the form of the supreme force. Still, we kill the female fetus before its birth. Women are not only the wife of men, rather they are complementary to them. If there are no women, how would men take birth? Can there be any existence of mankind at all? Women have no less contribution than men towards the welfare of society. Nobody can deny the contribution of a woman in giving birth to a child, raising them, performing different scores of activities within the home and outside. However, the contribution of a woman is always being belittled and many people conspire to kill the female child. Women are deprived of the honor and respect they deserve. Therefore, first of all, we have to learn to give due respect to women. Women should not be a burden to their parents. Rather, she should be their support. Women need to strive to improve their financial status in order to make a place for themselves in society. But irrespective of a woman's financial status, she should be given her due respect and equal rights. A handful of women attaining remarkable achievements, or a certain section of women coming out in public wearing liberal clothing, does not establish equal rights for women. I want the total welfare of womankind. People have told me that there is not a single household where a husband and wife do not argue. But that does not simply imply that women are being oppressed. In most cases, the fault usually lies in both of them. Female feticide is a product of a corrupted mindset. But before we try to help women make a place for themselves, we must educate men that the world do not belong to them exclusively.
Domestication of Dog. Around 38,000 years ago, men first learned to domesticate dogs. This initiated the beginning of a new era of human civilization. Man always found a trusted friend in the dogs. The development and prosperity of human civilization would not be possible without the dogs. Men traversed and conquered vast areas of the world along with their loyal friend, the dog. Several non-sapiens, Homo species, evolved along with Homo sapiens. However, scientists are unable to understand the reasons behind their extinction. After an in-depth analysis, it has been observed that only the Homo sapiens, the predecessors of modern man, mastered the skill of taming the dog. The other non-sapiens, Homo species, failed to do so. Therefore, we can deduce that without the help of dogs, the evolution of mankind could not be possible. Had the dogs been not there beside mankind as their loyal friends, they too would have become extinct like other non-sapiens, Homo species. Dogs have a strong sense of smell. They are capable of sensing any imminent danger. At that time, men were hunters by nature, and dogs helped them in hunting. At night, when men fell asleep, the dogs used to guard them. They could awake men in case of any danger. Sometimes the dogs saved their master's life by sacrificing their own life. Without the dogs, man couldn't sleep peacefully at night. If we analyze the characteristics of dogs, we will see that dogs do not hesitate to sacrifice their lives to save their masters. They have always loved and protected their masters and dear friends more than themselves. The real meaning of friendship was first realized by men from dogs. Men have never found a loyal friend like dogs, and probably they will not be able to find one in the future. Still, some people in this world look down upon the dogs. I have strong objection when the very word dog is being used as a slang. I have observed that the street dogs are abused by men without any reason. A couple of days ago, a newspaper article came to my notice that street dogs are being killed unnecessarily at Dhaka city. I am unable to understand how men can act in such an inferior way. How men can kill his most trusted friend who always stood beside him for ages together. Does such a selfish and cruel attitude suit mankind?
Food habit. From our childhood, we have been taught to eat healthy food. It is not advisable to have junk foods. We should eat low-fat, high-fiber foods and drink at least 2 liters of water every day. When we grow up a little, we are always advised to not smoke. Even excessive drinking of alcohol should be avoided and regular physical exercise should be practiced. Health is wealth, and we should not recourse to such practices which are detrimental to health. Sometimes we listen to such advice and sometimes we ignore them. And that is why we regret in future. We all happen to love tasty food. Some of us like non-vegetarian foods while some prefer vegetarian dishes. There are so many varieties of food like fish, egg, rice, pulses, vegetables, milk, fruits and sweets. And in cuisines, there are several varieties like Chinese, North Indian, South Indian, etc. The taste buds of our tongue can perceive different kinds of tastes like sweet, sour, salty, hot, bitter, etc. Sometimes the aroma of good food satisfies us. Perhaps the mental and physical pleasure from tasty food is more than anything else. In this world, we find 2 categories of people. To some people, food is for living, while for others, living is for food. However, overeating may lead to many kinds of suffering. That is why overeating should always be avoided. We should not take any food that is harmful to our health. We should take special care so that we do not fall ill due to overeating. The utility of taking food is almost known to all. For our survival, we have to take food regularly. People who are deprived of 2 square meals despite working hard all day, only they can understand the real value of food. It is invaluable. Therefore, we should not waste any food, and all of us are being taught this lesson from a very young age. The uneven distribution of resources is the cause of poverty. Therefore, we should not waste any resources. A certain class of people waste huge quantities of food, and that is the reason behind the scarcity of food for some others. In this world, numerous people die due to starvation. On the other hand, countless people also die of ailments caused by overeating. We do not know the exact figure in either case.
The mystery of the forests. I have an intense love for the forests from childhood. Forests are dangerous but full of beauties. Had I not paid regular visits to the forests and developed a deep emotional bonding with the forests, I would not be able to appreciate the beauties of nature. I could not delve deep into the lessons of the science books if I did pay regular visits to the forests. I have been in love with the forests. There was a time when I stayed for many days in the forests of Duars, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. I have enjoyed the beauty of the mysterious forests. Many people have asked me whether it is necessary to conserve the wild animals like the tiger, lion, poisonous snakes or crocodile or not. I always insist on conservation. Science has explained the reason. If the animals like tiger, lion and poisonous snakes or crocodiles do not exist, the ecological balance of the forests will be destroyed. The food chain will break away. Man destroys the forests for their needs and even unnecessarily. But if the forests perish, then the man will also cease to exist. Being a part of the ultra-modern civilization, many of us think that forests are not needed for us. Many of us are unaware of the fact that if there is no forest, no flora and fauna, then there will be no man also. Human civilization will be devastated. We all will die of the dearth of oxygen. I have closely watched wild animals and felt their emotions. I have realized their intense struggle and hardship to get food and exist. Seeing them in their habitat, many questions arose in my mind. I was able to find the answers from within the forests only. Plants get hold of solar power through photosynthesis. The herbivorous animals eat the plants as their food. On the other hand, carnivorous animals eat herbivorous animals as their food. When all these animals die, their bodies are decomposed by the microorganisms and mixed into the soil, thereby coming back to nature again. This is how energy is transferred in a cyclic order. When a tiger is compelled to kill a deer to satisfy its hunger, can we call this incident an act of cruelty? Under the law of nature, one animal is forced to kill another. Energy is transferred by such a ruthless process. However, I have noticed that wild animals kill or attack another animal only for food or self-protection. Unlike human beings, they don't kill animals unnecessarily. Animals do not attack or rape a female without any reason. From that perspective, they are more human than human beings, and we human beings are much more brutal. The more I could relate myself with the forest, the more I could feel the intricacies of life and the world around me. I will tell you the mysterious stories of the enigmatic forests later.
Accomplishment. We desire to be established in life and strive for accomplishment. However, the definition of the word established differs in many cases. What is our life all about? Is it a journey or a race? How shall we establish ourselves? Shall we compete or cooperate with others? The decision should be our own. None of us can live alone on this planet. No one really is self-dependent. We are dependent on each other for survival. Each of us has some contributions to the society. The Almighty resides within all of us. There are soldiers, lovers, artists, warriors, or business owners among us. The definition of established is altogether different for each of them. The artist says, I want to realize all the beauties of the world in my lifetime. I want to create such a thing which will survive even after my death and make me immortal. The version of a warrior is somewhat different. He would say, I want to fight with death. I want to put a mark in this world before my demise. My target is to do such deeds that will be remembered even after my death. The scientific explanation is that every creature of this world has to undergo relentless struggle for existence. If we plant a tree in a dark room, the branches gradually grow towards the window to get some light with the hope of survival. One creature is compelled to kill another creature to feed itself. Power is transferred through this ruthless process. All of us go through a continuous struggle for existence. In this process, the fittest evolves while the weaker ones become extinct. The identity crisis of the ghosts. There are different kinds of ghosts. For example, the skeleton ghost, the shadow ghost, the wind ghost, and ghosts that can take the disguise of a human being. We have many negative notions about ghosts. However, ghosts are not at all frightening. Some ghosts scare us, but they are negligible in number. Most of the ghosts are innocent by nature. They are afraid of many things. They are suffering from an identity crisis. They move around in the darkness of the night. They cannot tolerate bright light. The advent of electricity has created a lot of inconvenience for them because they cannot find pitch darkness even at night. The presence of ghosts has decreased a lot in the areas of human habitation. Nook and corners of localities are always illuminated by bright lights. As a result, the condition of the ghosts have become miserable. They cannot even enjoy the festival of Bhut Chaturdashi like before. That is why most of the ghosts now live in the dense forests. However, there also they cannot live peacefully. There are the constant noises of the calls of the wild animals and the chirping of birds. However, there also they cannot live peacefully. There are the constant noises of the calls of the wild animals and the chirping of birds in the forest. We do not have any proof of the existence of ghosts. Some believe in the existence of ghosts, while others do not. Many of us believe that ghosts exist only in the minds of coward people. They do not have any existence in reality. Many people believe that ghosts are the souls of human beings. After our death, the soul leaves the body. As long as they do not find a new body or achieve salvation, they roam around near us. Most of the times we are unable to feel their existence, but that does not mean that they do not exist. There are many things we cannot feel or perceive, but they do exist. There is a huge world beyond our perception. Even dogs can feel the presence of ghosts better than us. That is why, if you find a dog barking loudly without any reason, the presence of ghosts in the surrounding cannot be ruled out. The world of ghosts does not believe in the principles of democracy. They believe in monarchy. There are still kings in the community of ghosts. If the king can be satisfied, he blesses with boons. Purusha and Prakriti. The union of Purusha and Prakriti created this universe. There is a diverse opinion about the concept of Purusha and Prakriti. Philosophers have different views on this. Purusha is the truth. He is God. Purusha is the consciousness and Brahma. Purusha is the apex of all gods. He is the Mahakal. Prakriti is the prime, divine, and infinite power. She is the ultimate illusion. Purusha is the man, while Prakriti is the woman. Purusha is one. Prakriti is infinity. Purusha is the light. Prakriti is the darkness. Purusha is time, that is eternity. Prakriti is multidimensional space. We cannot separate time and space, light and darkness. They complement each other. As man and woman are reciprocal to each other, similarly, Purusha and Prakriti are integrated and correlated. Purusha is matter, dark matter, antimatter, degenerate matter, while Prakriti is energy, dark energy, positive and negative. The dark matter is called Purusha and Prakriti is the dark energy. If Purusha is fire, then Prakriti is the vigor of the fire. Purusha is the absolute consciousness. Prakriti is the divine energy. Purusha is the absolute reality and absolute energy is Prakriti. If Purusha is the soul of the universe, then Prakriti is the universe itself. The creator is Purusha, while the creation is Prakriti. Purusha sows seeds, while they are nurtured by Prakriti. The universe has been created in this way. The Panchabhuta, or 5 elements of creation, have emerged from the 3 gunas, or qualities, Sattva, Raja, and Tama. The 5 elements are space, water, air, fire, and the earth. These 5 elements have created the universe. Therefore, Purusha is the Lord of the universe or the Bhutnath, and Prakriti is the Panchabhuta.
Those demonic creatures of the fairy tales. We all love to read or listen to the fairy tales. When I was a child, my grandmother told me a fairy tale. Like all such tales, it too had no relation with logic or reality. Huge demonic creatures live deep under the ground, in the depth of the seas. We have a reference of such creatures in the epics Ramayana and Mahabharata. There is a specific point in the depth of the sea from where the domain of these demonic creatures can be entered. Many ships that reached the point disappeared forever. No traces of them were ever found. Most of us know the story of the Bermuda Triangle. This story may be similar to that. When these demonic creatures quarrel or fight among themselves, our world is devastated by natural disasters like flood, earthquake, tsunami, volcanic eruption, or another catastrophe. After growing up, I can understand that such demonic creatures exist only in the pages of the fairy tales.
However, my interest in the aquatic creatures has not decreased at all. 3/4 of our earth is water, and 1/4 is land. Still, we have little knowledge about the aquatic creatures. Oxygen is indispensable for our existence. The atmosphere we live in is an ocean of air. We can inhale the oxygen dissolved in air, but we cannot inhale the oxygen dissolved in water. On the other hand, the aquatic creatures can inhale oxygen dissolved in water, but cannot inhale the oxygen dissolved in the air. That is why they are unable to exist on land. They can live in water only. The aquatic creatures have their world in the deep seas. We have very little knowledge of them. Aliens can neither take the oxygen dissolved in air nor that in water. Hence, they cannot live permanently either in the sea of air or that of water. I will tell their stories later. We have found the reference to a catastrophe or great disaster in different epics. When the earth will be affected by the catastrophe, the entire planet will get submerged in water. Then we, the terrestrial creatures, won't be able to take the oxygen dissolved in water and therefore die. However, the aquatic creatures will still be alive. Once upon a time, dinosaurs dominated the earth, but over time they became extinct. It may so happen that we also may become extinct after the catastrophe. The aquatic animals may rule the earth in future. Maybe new demonic creatures may emerge due to adaptation in future. They may be able to inhale the oxygen dissolved both in air and water. As a result, they may be able to survive both on land as well as in water. The demonic creatures of the fairy tales may come alive in reality. Jatishwar, a person who remembers his previous birth. We, the believers of Hinduism, believe in the concept of reincarnation or rebirth. According to our religion, the soul is immortal. It is a body that dies. Our soul goes away from one body to the other. In this way, we take another birth after death, and the process continues till we attain a salvation. However, normally we don't remember anything about our previous lives. Remembering the past life is one of the rarest of the rare incidents. Similarly, the existence of two souls within one body is also an exceptional instance. There are very few people who get the hints of future incidents ahead of time. That can also be considered a very unusual case. When we hear about these rare incidents, we find them very difficult to believe. We have read and seen the instances of rebirth or a person who remembers the incidents of his, her previous birth in books and films, respectively. We have also come to know about persons who remember his previous birth. The authenticities of those claims have also been established. Whenever I had a chance to know such instances, I was amazed. Many of us have heard about Shanti Devi. The authenticity of that incident was testified by none other than Mahatma Gandhi. He was also surprised to find that. In the mythological stories, we have found that the gods and goddesses had the abilities to remember their previous births. Then why didn't the gods give human beings the power to remember the details of their previous births? Is it a blessing for us to remember our previous births, or a curse? Perhaps it is a curse. It would have created several complications in our minds. That is why God has not given us the ability to remember the incidents of our previous births. There are a few exceptional human beings who can remember the incidents of their previous life. According to the Hindu religion, they are called Jatishar in Sanskrit.
Change is the essence of life. Change is the essence of life. The concepts of good and bad, vice and virtue, decency and obscenity, hero and villain, dharma and adharma are all relative. It changes according to the time, place and persons present. Change is the essence of life. It is the absolute truth in this world. There is nothing permanent. Even the problems we face in our lives will cease to exist one day. Just as the daylight is followed by the darkness of the night, a new day will again shine brightly at the end of the black night. God is the truth. Devotion to God is truth. So be strong and firm in your faith. Never accept defeat before fighting the war. Never be upset. Today's small sapling will grow into the huge tree tomorrow. One who's an insignificant person today will be the center of attention and respect tomorrow. The person who's deprived in all respects today will become the best achiever in the days to come. The true reality of the Almighty. Many probably know this story. 4 blind friends set off to know how an elephant looks. The first person who touched the trunk of the elephant said that the elephant looks like a banana tree. The second person who touched the ear of the elephant said that the elephant looks like a bamboo sieve. The third person who touched the leg of the elephant said that the elephant looks like a pillar. The fourth person who touched the tail of the elephant said that the elephant looks like a rope. Till the day their eyes regained vision, none of them came to know the true form of the elephant. Similarly, till the day we can open the eyes of our mind, we will never come to realize the true reality of the Almighty. The true reality of the Almighty is Satchidananda, Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. We know that the lives of those that center around these 3 hymns, Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram, for them this world of sadness is a hermitage of happiness. Prophets have preached to forsake everything in life for truth, but never to forsake truth for anything. God is true. The world is full of lies. Pray to God that the world will prosper. Shiva means welfare. We will have to sacrifice this mortal life for the welfare of the entire world. Only then will one attain pure happiness. Remember that no great deed is accomplished through deception. Where there is beauty, there is happiness. Beauty fills our mind with unlimited joy. We ought to worship this beauty. Efforts must be taken to make this world more beautiful. Only then will life become more joyful. There is a short story. In a forest lived thousands of monkeys. All of them drank water from the same river. This water was life-saving for all of them. But all the monkeys knew this water by different names. On this issue, all of them started to fight against each other. Then the water god appeared and said, "You can call me by any name. It does not make a difference. But for such a small reason, please do not fight among yourselves. All the animals of the forest are my affectionate ones. I want all of you to love each other and not to fight among yourselves." This story is now of the whole world. The Hindu Almighty is called Ishwar. The Muslim Almighty is called Allah. The Christian Almighty is called God. People of other religions worship their Almighty by different names, but the Almighty is one. It does not make any difference to Him. He is the symbol of love and compassion. The Almighty does not want us to fight against each other for such small reasons. He only wants us always to be with goodness, and whatever is negative for this creation, either to forsake it or destroy. Happiness is a feeling. Suppose an object is creating a feeling of happiness in our minds, but it is not creating any meaning of happiness in the minds of other creatures. Again, just the reverse can also be true. So we can say that the feeling of happiness changes with the change of place, time, and person. Everyone wants happiness. We all perceive happiness in our own way. Some find happiness in a drop of water, while some remain unhappy even with an entire ocean. Selfless acts of service is the path of self-realization or God-realization. It is the ultimate aim of life and the source of eternal happiness.
The future world and a few words. The words future world depicts the picture of a highly improved world in our minds. The future world presents the pictures of mutageny or improved creatures, aliens or creatures from the other planets, robot or artificial intelligence, and cyborg or half human and half machine in our thoughts. Times are changing very fast. Things like 3D video conferencing, electric vehicle, voice language translator, and commercial space travel will be easily available in future. Space travel will be an easy option. Visiting the real moon for honeymoon won't be a very surprising thing. Man will start living in the deep sea bed then. A new civilization will develop there. Science will be much more improved then. The temperature of the earth will rise by a few degrees. The style and designs of dresses will also change then. A new creature named mutageny will be created in the future world. They look very close to human beings, but they can utilize the major portions of their brains and can control natural forces with the help of their brains. Robot or artificial intelligence will play a significant role in the future world. They will regulate human civilization to a great extent. Cyborg means half human and half machine. These machine men will play an important role in the future world. Our relationship with the aliens will be very friendly in the future world. They will coexist with us. The ancestors of human beings came from an unknown planet and diverted in two different directions. One group reached our Earth. Another group went to a dark planet. Due to their inhabitants on the dark planet, they had to go through a great deal of struggle for existence. This intense struggle has put them far ahead of us in knowledge, science, and strength. They reach our world with the help of dimension travel and start living with us. They look so similar to us by physical features that it is impossible to segregate them. They have done extensive research on our Earth and us. We share very friendly relation with these aliens and other aliens too. However, sometimes some of the aliens kidnap us and take us to their dark planet and carry out different kinds of experiments with our bodies. Many people think that our future in this world may be somewhat different. We may face the dark threats of catastrophe in future. We may face disastrous situations like electricity crisis, scarcity of drinking water, natural calamities like flood, earthquake, tsunami, volcanic eruption, attacks by the aliens, Third and Fourth World War, bacteria, virus, epidemics, etc. The weapons present in this world as on date are destructive enough to put an end to the entire human civilization. How can we survive in such an uncertain future? We have to keep ourselves prepared for that. Then there will be the beginning of a new era. Or it may so happen that this world will no longer be suitable for human habitation. The oxygen dissolved in the air will turn toxic and therefore not suitable for human respiration. Billions of human beings will die. Same will happen to billions of other animals and living beings. Some people will take shelter in the space. The last generation of human beings will reside within 108 spaceships. They will travel in different dimensions. They will search for a new Earth where human habitation will be possible, as the present Earth. Sometimes they will come to our Earth carrying artificial oxygen. After spending a few days here, they will go back to their spaceships because this in future, the Earth will be dangerous to live in. In the absence of human beings in the future world, new genres of plants and animals will come into existence and get fully developed. Many people think that the way we are destroying nature and exploiting natural resources, we are making this world unsuitable for habitation. We have already destroyed 83% of wild animals and 50% of the plants. If we are so careless about nature, then nature can destroy us at any moment. One day, our greed and stupidity will be the cause of our destruction. That is why many people are saying that while we worship the invisible God, we disregard the visible nature. We forget that there is no difference between God and nature. We live in this world by taking the privilege of the care and hospitality of nature. In future, the world will exist irrespective of whether we, the human beings, exist or not. It existed before our existence and will continue to exist long after our existence. One day, we may be extinct like the dinosaurs. At that time, the earth may be dominated by some other species. We and nature. Millions of species have emerged in this earth through adaptation. The vast and varied planet and animal kingdom emerged through this process. Many of us may not know that millions of species destroyed and became extinct from this earth due to various reasons. For example, dinosaurs became extinct 65 million years ago. For sheer natural reasons, many of the species have become extinct over time. We can mark this incident as a normal and natural death. Sometimes many species wiped out totally due to natural catastrophe like Kitty extinction. We can describe this phenomena as an accidental death. Again, numerous species have faced extinction directly or indirectly within a short period due to human beings. We can term this as murder. Many people believe that human beings are also part of nature. Therefore, if some species become completely extinct directly or indirectly by human beings, we can call this a part of natural adaptation. Darwin told us that we have to struggle relentlessly for our existence. Through this process of struggle, there is the emergence and survival of the fittest and the extinction of the unfit. That is why some thinkers believe that it is not unnatural or surprising if human beings completely perish. Some species, for the sake of their existence or prove their supremacy. This is because of the rule of nature. The fittest will survive and the weakest will be extinct. Whatever mankind did to protect its existence or to prove its supremacy is right. However, at this point, my opinion is different. In my view, cooperation is equally important as competition. Because no one on this earth can survive alone. Each one of us is dependent on others. We have to suffer the evil consequences if we destroy a single species totally for our existence or to establish our supremacy. We have already destroyed 83% of wild animal and 50% plant kingdoms. We ourselves have made this world unfit for human habitation. Aren't we aware of the fact that by destroying the nature, we are only inviting our doomsday? We cannot survive if there is no forests, no flora and fauna. We all will die of the scarcity of oxygen. The earth will no longer be habitable for us. Human civilization will be destroyed forever. None of us is self-reliant. We cannot live alone. All of us are dependent on others. Therefore, we have to help others in our existence and our life. We have to take extra care so that no species are made extinct by us directly or indirectly. Is human species most intelligent living being? Huge flora and fauna has formed in our planet. Humans formed much later. Many think humans are not the inhabitant of this planet. They came from other planet. If we look at the characteristic of human being, we find very little similarities with the other animals or living things. So, we are different from all. Are we original inhabitant of this world? We came from a different planet? There is controversy in this matter. But this earth has taken us in as its own. It has given us everything. But what have we given to it in return? Do we have any participation in this formation? I'm giving you an example. The role bees have played in creation of this world. We do not have that. Lakhs of trees are dependable on bees for their reproduction. Absence of bees will harm the creativity of the world. No matter how much stronger we become by the help of science, but we cannot play the role that bees have in the formation of the world. No formation or creation of this world would be stopped in our absence. We say all the time, do not behave like an animal. But are we not crueler than animals? Generally, animal does not kill any other living things unless they need food or to protect themselves. We do that. They do not rape. We do. They never cage other animals, but we do. Actually, human is a selfish species. They only think about themselves. They do not think about other animals. Damages nature, ruins natural resources, ruins natural beauty, harms other animals, destroy forests. But we think that we are superior, intelligent, and greater than other animals. But are we really so? By destroying nature, are we not bringing ourselves to an end? Many new species have formed due to evolution. This huge world of planet, an animal has created in this way. If any species vanishes due to evolution, then we can call it a normal death. But when species vanishes by the human, then we can call it a murder. Many would say that human species is also a part of nature. Then, if any other animal or species vanishes by human, that is also a part of evolution of nature. We could say survival of the fittest. Human species is now following that. We have already destroyed 83% of wild animals and 50% of plants. We ourselves have made this world unfit for human habitation. By destroying nature, are we not bringing ourselves to an end? If there is no forest, no flora and fauna, then there will be no man also. Human civilization will be devastated. We all will die of the dearth of oxygen. None of us is self-sufficient. We all are dependent on each other. There are constant exchanges between all of us, and this is how we exist, by depending upon each other. None of us can live alone on this planet. No one is self-dependent. We are dependent on each other for survival.
Tuberose. You fell asleep in the darkness of the night. Looking into your eyes, I wonder, are you that man? Handsome as the prince of my dreams. Still in your embrace, why doesn't come beside the window the flowering tuberose fragrance? Is then the window closed? No, the flowers have dried up. Never perhaps will they bloom, with this merciless promise in their bosom. But why? If I ask you, are you indifferent towards me? No, everything of mine is in your grasp. All that I have is mine, intense, love hidden in the depths of the mind. All your indifference is towards that love. On the first night of marriage, I had known you well. When with the calculation of dowry, I had seen you bargaining. I am that girl. No. How long can this continue? That's what I think in the darkness of the night. When will the dawn come? The eastern sky will become red. No more by placing flowers at your feet, by placing tuberous garland at your neck and say, "Oh man, I love you."
Universal programming. Nature follows a particular rule. Change is the law of the universe. However, much will change. Which way the change will take place follows a particular rule. We can call that rule the universal programming. Many people think place, time, and character shall always be specific, which means that we can in no way change or rectify the event that has already happened. Event that will take place in the future will happen according to a specific rule. Each and every event has a cause and effect relationship. Usually, we shall not be changing any event in the future. Whatever has been destined for the future will happen. If it does not happen in one day, it will happen in some other way. The rule of universal programming says so. However, some exceptions to this rule are theoretically possible. If we can reach into the past time machine, then we shall be able to change any event of that time. As a result of which, an immense change will take place in the universal programming. Parallel universe will be created. However, practically that might not be possible because the speed of time never flows backwards. So, it is not possible to reach into the past on a time machine. So it is not possible to change or rectify any event of the past. Many people think if time travel become possible, then who can travel in time? For how long can we travel? For how many days will he stay alive? What changes in the universe will be made by him? All these will be perhaps limited by one specific rule. What event will happen in this universe? By whom will that happen? Why will it happen? The place, time, and character are specific. The event that has happened will not change. So by time travel, the events that have taken place will be perhaps predestined. All the events are limited by a specific rule. We cannot violate that rule according to our wish by time travel. The event that is happening or will happen will not change. Universal programming is a strange game. Is it then Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram? The ever-cheerful God is playing a game with us. We are a very tiny, insignificant creature. One day, perhaps we will come to know that our Earth also has life. Our solar system, planets, satellites, millions of stars, all have life. All of us are actors on the stage. All of us are a part of a huge drama controlled by universal programming. Shatarupa. Shatarupa, I have searched for you in 100 forms. I have wanted you. I have loved you. Then I have closed my eyes and seen you. I've got you and lost again in my songs and my art, Shatarupa, giving you 100 forms. I want to make you alive. Raise your eyes and give me a little consent. I want to shower everything. You don't know why you appear very familiar. It seems I have come in this lane. This mountain peak, this foam of the sea, it seems very familiar to me. Maybe thousands of years ago, you were in the crowd of Gargi, Maitri, Lopamudra, or on the calm, serene, desolate riverbank. I have seen you on the bank of the eastern horizon, or in the west, on that endless field. Love means one drop of tear and a flash of smile. Love means in the precincts of memory and dreams, one little beautiful nice flake of tears. The earth is round, so maybe we'll meet again. But that day perhaps a lot of desire and achievement will be over. Whoever has got the hint of that eternal separation, it is futile to give him assurance of unification. If you want to be lost, holding the hand of eternity, like the golden-winged eagle want to spread wings in the sky, then in the enclosure of my heart, I don't have the capacity to enclose you. Yet, your pleasant company, in between your lips, is the anklet of my life a jingle, before leaving when everything comes to naught.
Freedom. I am that girl. Today all the dreams of life, love and affection, having lost, I am standing on the conviction box with a blood-laden knife in hand. The whole world is praising you all, but I will not. Till now, only you were in my heart. Only you do I love. It's only you. It's you to whom I complain. I am too tired in the journey of life. Now you make me free. The bondage in the depths of my heart continuously is gnawing. From that unfamiliar bondage, now you make me free forever. That sleep is of permanent freedom. May there be not any bondage thereafter. The king's seat has rotten to become the public seat. Now it's a pig fight for its power. Having won the fight, you have become the king. Then we have discovered you as the hero of a murder of hundreds and crores of public. That doomed night of yesterday, queer nuisance of 1 or 2 owls. Through the window they were watching, a blood-laden knife in one hand and dying oil lamp in the other, lackluster yet glistening in love. Mind, body, everything, alas. One day had I surrendered at your feet, yet to soak my hands in your blood. Didn't my hand tremble at all?
The buzzing of mosquitoes. I work in a small tea garden. New job, so the salary is paltry. But yes, I do have a small quarter. There, during the daytime on a cycle, I roam around the tea garden. And during the night, in that quarter, spend the night half asleep due to mosquito bites. This is my monotonous life. In between this life, you, yes, you, do not much flash in my memory. Had almost forgotten you, but that morning of the monsoon, reminded me of you yet again. Reminded me of all the memories that were lying in the depths of my heart. You have forgotten me, yet I won't blame you at all. Perhaps never try to remember me, ever. While thinking about you, in a dreamy state, I almost fell asleep. But suddenly the buzzing of the mosquito brought me back into an unusual romantic reality, where the cooing of the cuckoo exiled. By the tea garden, I still sit beside the little river and watch birds chirping on the branches of trees. Rain falls in droplets on that river in complete bliss. Clouds, but they won't pay heed to my word. I am not the hero of Meghadutam of Kalidasa. I am modern. The buzz of mosquitoes is my mate forever.
Righteous path. The correct meaning of the word religion is righteous path. Satchidananda God had said, Satyam Shivam Sundaram is the correct path. The tremendous addiction that material wealth and material desire creates in our mind, to fulfill that our mind gets overpowered even more by senses like lust, anger, greed, etc., and involves us in sinful activities. Initially, it creates sinful thoughts in our mind, and then it gets reflected through our activities. If those addictions are not fulfilled, it becomes the reason behind our distress and sorrow. But the person who considers Satyam Shivam Sundaram as the principle of life, that person, although enjoys material wealth and material desire, does not ever become addicted to those. So enjoyment does not ever create any sin in his mind, does not ever become the reason of distress and sorrow in life. That person becomes successful in attaining the ultimate goal of life, or moksha, and experience the ever-happy God. That is why it has been said in the Gita, do your work, but never expect results. Only then will you attain everything in life. Work is the greatest religion, but work should be done for establishment of the religion, the righteous path. Work should be done for the betterment of the world. Work should be done without any desire or selfishness. If we can feel our true self, if we can feel Satchidananda Ishwar within us, we do not have any desire or selfishness. Our life will get ultimate success. If we can see our God everywhere, in every living being, we can love them without any selfishness. Selflessness is self-realization or God-realization. So Satchidananda Ishwar has taught us that love and purity are the two pillars of religion, the righteous path.